Most men think their dating results come down to three things, namely looks, status, and money. So we try to improve them, but the reality is that most of us subconsciously put out signals that put us in a much lower tier or much lower box or put us in a much lower level than where we're actually at. So rather than focusing on getting better, the first thing we should do is learn to stop putting out these signals that essentially pull us down and put us in a lower category than where we're actually in. Now, what creates that gap between where you objectively are and where people perceive you to be, that's your inner state. How you feel about yourself and how you feel about the world around you. And based on that inner state, you will subconsciously put out signals that women are extremely good at spotting. So you want to create some awareness around what these signals are and how you can avoid them. And that's what this video is going to be about. The thing is that for women, attraction is not just a visual thing. Instead, they pick up on your internal state. Do you feel like you're enough? Do you feel confident? Or are you just putting on a facade and constantly actually trying to prove yourself to yourself and to the world? Now, I've put out a video in the past where I talk about that internal state, where I talk about how to get a better relationship with yourself, feel better about yourself and the world. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But today we're going to talk about the signals that you're putting out, because once these signals become part of who you are, even when you fix that internal state, you might still be putting out those signals. So let's just take a look at them and let's help you get rid of them once and for all. First signal is over-explaining. Whenever you feel the need to explain why you did something or why you said something, that implies that you want the other person's approval. You want them to tell you that it's okay that you did this or that you were right. And women, again, pick up on this because it's approval-seeking behavior. It's you need them to tell you it was okay. Somebody who's very confident, who trusts himself, who knows that whatever he feels and whatever he thinks is okay, doesn't feel the need to over-explain, to over-justify something that he did or something that he said. The second signal is a need to fill in silences. The truth is that whenever silence occurs in an interaction, what happens is it feels slightly uncomfortable. A little bit of tension is created, and you can use that tension in one of two ways. Now, most people unfortunately do the wrong thing. They want to return to that state of comfort, so they fill the silence. They basically remove the tension or kill the tension to go back into comfort. But what you actually could be doing or should be doing is be okay with the silence. Use it to make a brief moment of eye contact. See if she contributes something to the interaction. It's also an opportunity for her to fill in on that silence. And after a couple seconds, you can always go back to the interaction, but there shouldn't be this feeling of need to fill that silence. And again, women are very good at spotting when you struggle with the silences. And again, somebody who's very at ease with himself usually doesn't feel the need to fill in silences because he's just okay with any moment at any point in time. It's okay if the interaction is not going perfect. It's okay if she thinks that you're being silent a bit too long, right? It's all okay. Now, the third signal I see a lot of men give, especially very successful guys, is that they feel the need to qualify themselves. They feel the need to prove to everyone and tell everyone how successful they are. And this is something that's kind of natural because when you go through a career or through business, you're kind of used to constantly telling people how good it's going, how good you're doing, how qualified you are for the next level. So people want to work with you and people want to be around you and people want to have you around them. So it makes sense that we have this need. But what it really signals in a dating context is that you feel the need to prove yourself. You feel the need to tell her that you have done all of these things because then she will see you in a better light, which implies that she's not yet seeing you in that light and that you don't feel like you're actually in that amazing light yet. And also, let's be honest, whenever you tell somebody about that great thing that you just did and you kind of brag a little bit, like humble brag, do you not get that feeling that, man, that was kind of weird? Because usually you will get that slightly weird feeling that that was not really necessary, right? And that's exactly your subconscious telling you that, well, that was kind of like an unnecessary brag. It was you proving yourself. The fourth signal I see guys give is changing his opinion when a woman pressures him. Now, of course, whenever you're in an interaction and somebody shares a valuable insight and that leads to a legit change in your opinion or in your perspective, it's totally fine to change that opinion. And in fact, I would encourage it because that's a reflection of somebody using their brain. But the mistake that a lot of guys make is that they feel pressure. They don't want to share their opinion because if they feel the other person gets uncomfortable by it or disagrees, so they just become agreeable and essentially fold. And the fifth signal is that whenever she kind of drops her energy, you immediately start trying to get it back up. So let's say you're in interaction and then she's distracted and is on her phone, or she's texting somebody, and you get that feeling that she kind of lost interest there, or you feel like the vibe dropped a bit. So the reaction that a lot of men make is they jump on it and they try to get the vibe back up. They try to warm her back up instead of just being like, yeah, sure, it's a normal part of a multiple hour conversation or interaction that somebody has these dips and things will go back up, and you just assume that it's completely normal and things will proceed in the best possible way later on. Now, the truth is that these are 5 different signals, but they all have the same underlying cause. The cause every time is a feeling of insecurity, a feeling that you're not fully enough and that you need to do something to prove yourself. And because you have these subconscious beliefs, you will do these actions that kind of reflect that, and that is why it's so visible for people that are finally attuned to that, which most women are. Now, just for sake of completeness, I'm going to link this video that I've linked early, because in this video I talk about how to actually improve that internal state, and it's a big part of what I do with my clients as well. Getting better at regulating that inner state and feeling better about yourself will drastically improve your confidence and your entire life as a consequence of that. And to wrap this up, improving your looks, your status, and your money will not change any of this, because if you make more money without changing anything in the core, without changing the signals that you put out, you will just be a guy with more money that is still proving himself to the world. And women will still see that the same way, except that now you have more money. So instead of focusing on the look, status, and money part, work on fixing yourself and become that person that is magnetic in and of himself. And then the look, status, and money thing just becomes an amplifier for that. But you as a person become interesting, magnetic, and just fascinating to be around because of your vibe, because of how grounded you feel in yourself, how confident you are. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, that's actually what I believe should be the goal for everybody here. And with that said, if you feel like there's some room for improvement for you, let's work together. There's a link to my calendar down below. Book a call. It's free. Let's have a chat. Let's see where you're at right now. I'll tell you exactly how to get to the next step. And if it's a match, if I can help you get there, let's work together and make this happen.